Hi, everyone. Thank you all for viewing. My name's Allison Conwell. I'm an advocate with COPERG. We're a consumer advocacy group that's been around for about 40 years, and we're doing some work on transportation. And so there's a lot of funding this year to go toward projects that make it safer to cross the street or take your bike to the grocery store. And I've got with me today to talk about some of those projects that are going on in Arapahoe County, Jim Katzer, who is a transportation division manager with Arapahoe County. So thanks so much for your time, Jim.
You're welcome. It's good to be with you this morning.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So what project are you talking about today?
So the county has put in for a grant and was awarded a grant for the Federal Boulevard project, which closes some sidewalk gaps along Federal Boulevard just to the north of USA 285.
Great. And so what does the before look like for this area?
So the before looks like it's a state highway that runs through this area with a lot of different accesses and bus stops along it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of missing sidewalk gaps in along this stretch of road. And if you go to Google Street View, you can actually see people using the sidewalks and crossing the street because it's just not very convenient for the pedestrians along the stretch of road.
Got it. So this big plan is to rebuild the sidewalks, which is going to be, really important to help people, just travel on that street to get where they need to go. Is there anything else that's going on in that project?
Yeah, we're also looking at ADA accessibility there along the stretch. So work to make not just closing those sidewalk gaps, but making it accessible to those that are challenged in that way. Yeah, so really look forward to a lot of pedestrian traffic there, and I think it will encourage also the use of the bus system and then the mass transit system here on the stretch of road.
That sounds all amazing. So it sounds like people are going to have a connected, accessible sidewalk network to get where they need to go along Federal Boulevard if they want to walk. And you mentioned that it'll make it easier for people to take transit. So are there a lot of transit stops on that part too?
Yes, there is. I don't know the total number off the top of my head, but yes, there is. And another great thing about this project too, it brings federal dollars to this area, and we're working directly in coordination with the city and county of Denver and also with the city of Sheridan. So it's a group effort, and we all understand the need to address the pedestrian access along the stretch.
Well, it's exciting that there's so much teamwork going on.
Mm-hmm.
So how important would you say projects like this are to Arapahoe County?
I would say it's really important, especially to these areas that often, unfortunately, they get neglected whenever we have a state system, and then you have multiple jurisdictions around the state system. Often they're overlooked. It's not a big project by any means. Whenever you talk about other projects where we're adding a new stretch of highway, which sounds really cool. This is one of those areas that it's easy to oversee, but we identified it as a need for the county and for the citizens in this area. So I think it's very important for this area.
Great, thank you. And it's exciting to see that there's some progress that's going to be made pretty soon on this. And so I think my last question is, do you recommend that other communities apply for funding to do similar projects?
Yes, I would, and especially it addresses like I just mentioned, these areas that it's hard to carve out money out of a budget for, and that's one of the reasons why that this grant was made available, is to focus on these areas that might otherwise get neglected. So yeah, we're really excited, and we would encourage anybody, any jurisdiction to look into applying for these grants, and also reaching out to the neighbors and encouraging them to participate in this grant process.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Jim, and answering all of my questions. It was really great to hear about all the exciting things that are going to happen on Federal Boulevard in Arapahoe County to make it safer for people to walk, roll, and take the bus. And thank you everyone for viewing, and we'll talk to you later.